Every business operates in two hemispheres. The right side of the business model canvas is your front stage, the promises you make to your customers. The left side is your backstage. It is the operational capability required to keep those promises. At the base of that backstage capability are your key resources. This structural foundation determines whether your value proposition is feasible in the real world. However, expensive assets frequently fail to produce profit. A business can own the most advanced physical infrastructure in its industry and still operate at a catastrophic loss. Take a modern industrial printing press running at maximum capacity. It is a multi-million-dollar marvel of engineering, churning out thousands of units hourly. There is a common misconception that acquiring massive amounts of machinery, stockpiling inventory, or increasing headcount automatically creates operational capability. On the contrary, accumulating resources without a precise strategy adds operational fat. This waste weighs down the entire enterprise and drains capital. True operational power is derived from strategic resource conversion rather than mere resource acquisition. To scale effectively, a business must map and manipulate its back-end infrastructure before the weight of its own assets makes it impossible to move. We can diagnose a company's capability by analyzing its resources across this matrix of 4 pillars. Physical assets include factories, server racks, and delivery fleets. Because these require heavy capital expenditure to acquire, they are highly sensitive to utilization rates. In the industrial sector, the test of a physical asset's value is OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. If a machine sits idle, its fixed cost rapidly devours your profit margins. The intellectual quadrant consists of intangible assets, patents, brand equity, and standard operating procedures. Proprietary data, such as a 10-year history of customer purchasing behavior, serves as a defensible economic moat because it cannot be easily replicated by a new entrant. Human resources involve more than just a headcount. They represent the specialized core competencies of your team. Lean management identifies underutilized human talent as a severe form of systemic waste. High-performance organizations require every operator to be a trained problem solver. Finally, the financial quadrant, cash flow and credit lines, acts as the oxygen that allows the other 3 pillars to function and endure economic shocks. Every business model requires a specific ratio of these 4 pillars. Misallocating capital among them leads directly to systemic failure. We can observe this failure in a real-world case study, a state-of-the-art packaging factory that was operating with negative profit margins. The executives believed that amassing the most expensive machinery would create a barrier to entry that competitors could not cross. Instead, they became trapped. When a business is weighed down by massive fixed costs, it lacks the operational agility to navigate market shifts. To find the source of the loss, we must go to the gemba, the actual shop floor, and perform a diagnostic audit. The data revealed a massive inefficiency. Despite owning the newest technology, the factory's OEE was 40%. The machines were idle for more than half of the working day. The first root cause was a deficit in the human quadrant. There were simply not enough skilled operators to run the complex machinery continuously. The second cause was erratic sales scheduling. This forced floor managers to constantly change printing plates, resulting in 2 hours of lost time for every setup. The factory was resource-rich but capability bankrupt. The physical machines were starved of the human skill and intellectual direction needed to generate value. The turnaround strategy required an immediate halt to all planned physical acquisitions. The focus shifted entirely to resource conversion. Step 1 converted financial resources into human resources. The executives canceled a multi-million-dollar machine order and used that cash to build an internal training center. This training upskilled existing operators in SMED, single-minute exchange of die, a technique for executing rapid machine setups. Step 2 moved from the human quadrant to the intellectual quadrant. Operational knowledge cannot stay locked inside an employee's head as tacit knowledge. It must be documented and standardized. Engineers converted the operator's best techniques into standard operating procedures. This explicit knowledge protected the company's capability from being lost if T personnel left. For Step 3, this new intellectual and human capital was applied to the idle machinery in the physical quadrant. The operational impact was significant. Machine setup times plummeted to 30 minutes. The factory's OEE rose to 75%. By increasing efficiency, they doubled their production capacity without spending any new capital. Agility and profitability are engineered by dynamically shifting capital across the 4 pillars, rather than blindly hoarding physical assets. This forces a reevaluation of competitive advantage. The most valuable resources are those that are structurally difficult for a rival to copy. Physical resources offer a weak defense. A competitor can buy the exact same CNC machines or delivery trucks you use, but proprietary data and culture create an economic moat that is difficult to cross simply by outspending you. To ensure your own operations are building muscle rather than fat, you can apply a diagnostic audit to your current infrastructure. First, check your utilization. Are your physical assets actually sunk costs? If your equipment sits idle, consider renting, outsourcing, or moving toward an asset-light model. Second, assess your workflow for Superman risk. If your operation halts when one expert is unavailable, your human resources lack the necessary cross-training. The core strength of a business model is the integration of its back-end infrastructure. Once that engine is balanced, it must be put to work. In the next step of the business model canvas, we will apply lean management to your key activities to force that engine to generate tangible value.